2003 F-150 4.6 liter rear wheel drive. The front end is taken apart because I just did the time and chain guides, ignition plate, and gears on the front of it, along with a new oil pump. Um, and unfortunately, we have another problem. Uh, One of the guides was broken off, and I got some parts out of the oil pan and stuff. Thought I got all of them out of there, but apparently I missed somehow that another guide had broken, and I believed I threw it away when in actuality I never even had it. Well, what's going on is start the truck up, had oil pressure, then all of a sudden lose it. And I'm gonna show you here real quick. What I did is I drained the oil out. Let me turn the light in there. I drained the oil out last night to let it get good and dry in there. And I took my bore scope and let me see if it'll let me, because I don't know if it's going to be good enough to. Shine up in that. I don't think it's going to work. Okay, that's not going to work. So, what's going on is one of the guides has gotten underneath of the pickup screen. So I'm just going to turn the bore scope. This here's a bore scope. You can pick it up pretty much anywhere online at Lowe's or anything like that. I'd rather have the one where the camera you can swivel it around, but they're quite a bit more expensive. So, but anyway, this one does what I want it to do. So we're gonna go up here and hit the playback button. All right, and all right, let me turn the flashlight off. All right, so that's another job right there. All right, so what you're looking at right there between these two is, if you'll see that yellow right there, that is the guide that has gotten down in the oil pan. And right here, that's another picture of it right there. Let's go back to this picture right here. Now, I don't know if you can see it in there, but let's see. Right there is the pickup screen. And what's going on is when you start it up, initially the engine is picking up the oil through the pickup screen, and you have great oil pressure. But once it creates that good suction on the oil and stuff, this guide will go right up under the pickup screen there and block it off. Now, because the guide is not completely flat, it's not blocking it off completely to the point where it's causing the uh, bearings to start losing oil completely and stuff. Um, what it's doing is it's losing enough oil pressure to drop the oil gauge down to zero and allow the lifters to start ticking. Now, this gauge that are on these from the factory are what we call dummy gauges, because it's actually an electronic gauge. It's not actually worked off of actual oil pressure through a copper tube like you would buy aftermarket with the gauge that has the tube coming into the back. Which is something I would highly recommend getting, because then you're looking at live, real-time oil pressure. You're not looking at something that is working off an electrical system that once you lose oil pressure, uh, the electrical system sends a signal to the computer, which sends a signal to your instrument cluster, letting you know that you have no oil pressure, and boom, it drops to zero. when in reality you could possibly still have 10 or 15 pounds of oil pressure. And for those of us that know, if you have at least 10, 15 pounds of oil pressure, you still uh, could get home depending on how far out you are, your traffic and everything else, you know. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop the video and I'm gonna drop this oil pan. And once I drop the oil pan, then I'm gonna pick back up on this in a part two and let you see what I found in there. Stay tuned.